and funerals.
One of our board members brought up the question of funerals just recently when presenting this issue to our board at the ACLU. Under Muslim law, people are supposed to be buried very quickly and without a casket, just a shroud and buried in the ground very quickly. She had a very difficult time burying her mother because they wanted to bury her under Sharia law and couldn't find a place where they weren't violating some other fundamental law. So those are the types of things where people can put in their wills. They might say in their will, I want my property divided among my 3 sons according to Sharia law. That would run into a huge problem when it went time to enforce that in the courts. So those are just a couple other examples of where this might run people into problems.
Thank you very much. I'm actually sorry. I went a little ahead of myself. I'd like to give the microphone to CAIR Ali, and he's going to give a brief 5-minute presentation on, I think, what is Sharia? 5 minutes? Yes, yes. 15 minutes. 5 minutes. Hopefully 5 minutes. There you go.
Okay. I thought it was 50 minutes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. 50 minutes, yeah. Do you have a stomach? Okay, peace be with you all. My name is Shakir Ani, and I will be very brief. I'll be very brief, hopefully. Very simple question. Is there any, I have been here since 1985. I have never heard that a Muslim community is trying or has been working behind the scene to impose the Sharia into the court system. Never heard of it. If anybody heard about it, please let me know. Raise your hand. That's one thing. The other thing, is Sharia part of our court system? My humble opinion, no, it's not. But the very fundamental article of Sharia, which is freedom, is in the first sentence of the founding father documents, that all men, and men and women, of course, are equal, are created equal. And they are entitled to the same freedom. In fact, the Quran goes beyond, and he did not only spell men, he said men and women are equal. And they are endowed with this liberty. So when it comes to Sharia, yes, it is part of the Constitution. But it is not a mandate on any judge to rule by Sharia at all. But what this bill will deprive me from, let us just give you an example. Suppose that I die. Suppose that I have 2 sons, hypothetical. One of them converted to a non-Muslim. When I die, they quarrel. The non-Muslim wants to criminate me. And the Muslim says, no, my father was a Muslim, we have to bury him. The judge will not listen to the Muslim son. He will go with the non-Muslim son. This is a very clear distinction, the very clear effect on my destiny. And if I knew that I would not be buried according to Islam, there is no way I would live in this country. And people who are supporting, this bill, really, if they don't know, they have to know that they want me out of this country. But humbly, I have to tell them that I am here, and most, maybe 99% of the Muslims in this hall are here because they want to enjoy the freedom that is granted to everybody in this country by the Constitution, by the first sentence in the Constitution. So please don't deprive me, don't deprive my children, don't deprive my wife from this beautiful article in your Constitution that coincide with my Sharia. So what is Sharia? Sharia in the linguistic meaning, which is an Arabic term. So it is very, very important to understand the term that you go to the language. And I come from a village on the Euphrates River in Iraq that is about 11 miles long. And it is a mountainous area, a river and 2 little mountains on the sides. And the only place that you can easily access the water is called the Sharia. So I come from exactly that location within that little village. So I'm from the location of a Sharia. So a Sharia in my language, Arabic, is the easiest way for a horse rider to drink water from the bank of a river. Okay, so what is Sharia in Islam? Sharia in Islam, since we were all created according to the Constitution, I still have 40 minutes. We were all created by Almighty the Creator, and we were all given the same articles of freedom. I believe in Islam that after we die, I should not consider my death to be the end of my story. In fact, my death is the end of one chapter in my story. The real life comes after I die. So where would I go? Well, I have to go back to my first statement. God has created me. I came from God. And then my destiny is to go back to God. Sharia is the easiest and safest way for me as a Muslim to go back to God. So that's what Sharia is. In the language, this is the easiest way to drink water from the back of the river. In Islam, it is the safest way to go back to your Creator. So that's what Sharia. So there's no contradiction really between Sharia and the Constitution if we really look at it in a magnifying glasses. Please don't look at Muslim societies in Afghanistan or in Saudi Arabia or in Iraq or anywhere. You have to understand that there is Islam, which is equal to Sharia, which is the way of life for Muslims. And there are Muslims. Muslims are a human being. They are subject to error. We make mistakes, whether we are Muslims or not. Yes, probably in a society we deprive women from riding cars. You ask me, is that part of the Sharia? I tell you, absolutely no. And go and tell the king that Shakir said, no, you have no right to deprive women from riding a car. Okay, some societies deprive women from going to the mosque. Is that part of the Sharia? Absolutely not. So don't mix the culture with the way of life with Islam. Islam is a document from the Creator. He knows us and He knows what suits us to live our happy life. Muslims are a human being. They make mistakes. And everyone who makes mistakes, is subject to be lectured on, to be advised, to be counseled, until he corrects his path. Our communities back home, in all Muslim countries, are in this struggle. They are really rediscovering their Islam, their bounty from their Creator. And the more they discover that, the more knowledge they have, the better life they live, and the happier and safer Sharia, a way of life that they go back to their Lord. This bill really is going to infringe on my rights as a human being and as a Muslim. It is going to affect my children, my grandchildren. So my appeal is, please, everybody should stand against. We are, as I second John saying, we are really putting a solution for a problem that is not there.